Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Adventures in Asheville show, featuring Steve and Karen Wilson, owners and innkeepers of the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast. Welcome, everyone. It is our monthly Adventures in Asheville show. We've been doing a lot of shows in regards to post-Hurricane Helene recovery and support. And today happens to be the regular show date, which is every first Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We take an adventure in Asheville, North Carolina with Steve and Karen Wilson, owners of the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast in the historic Montfort district in Asheville. We followed their journey and so many others, a lot of the people that they work with in the tourism industry. And today it is Giving Tuesday, and we thought, wow, isn't this perfect? Let's talk about how we can give back to Asheville, how we can help and keep going. The recovery efforts have been going quickly, but not quickly, depending on who you are. It's been a journey, and it is a step-by-step, sometimes 2 steps forward, 3-step back journey, depending. But we got Karen here. Steve is running around the B&B because they actually have guests checking in for the first time today. So welcome back,
Yay.
Karen. How are you?
We're hanging in there. We're crazy, but we're doing what we got to do.
You have water. We got water. You got electricity. You've got guests, which is exciting. But you've also had to rush it, not rush it, but have this crunch time to make it all work with the repairs, right?
Yeah, what needs to be done is our space. So that's the problem. Everything else is ready for everybody else, but we are definitely struggling to get our space prepared.
Yeah, you'll get there. They'll get there. So one thing I want everyone to know, go to lion-rose.com. And I'm just going to say this right now. Best ways you can support small businesses in Asheville is possibly going on their website and purchasing a gift certificate. What do you think, Karen?
Absolutely. Yeah. All of our that's what I love about Asheville is all the small businesses. And it's a nice, tightly knit community. We all work real well together, and we definitely could all use, people purchasing gift certificates if they can't be here right now.
And there's a lot going on in Asheville. The Biltmore's open, right? The Arboretum. We got Jay. He's going to the Arboretum tonight. Jay Schultz is a retired Army officer and owner of Spartan Photography. He is known for his drone and aerial work. Of course, he's been doing a lot on the insurance side and doing a lot of documentation for business and homeowners. And we've been featuring his photography on the podcast art over the last few weeks. You can go to spartanphotography.zenfolio.com. All the links are always in the episode notes that we talk about on the show. But welcome back, Jay. How are you?
I'm doing well. A little chilly, a little cold today, a little windy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're going to the Arboretum, everyone, we're recording this on a Monday. So just, but you're going to the Arboretum, the North Carolina Arboretum, tonight to do like a drone thing of, their winter lights, which is out. It's on right now for everyone to go to, right?
Yes. It's been open since, I think November 15th. And, it's going to be a little bit of a chilly flight tonight, but we're going to do a little promo, drone FPV drone flight. Virtual tour of the North Carolina Arboretum lights. If you've never been, you definitely should go. We go every year. We go every year with Karen and Steve, actually.
Yep.
And it's always a good time. And it's kind of like going there will help you feel a little bit more like things are starting to get back to normal here.
That's great.
Yeah.
And water coming back, I think, and electricity, obviously, but water has been really cool to have, right, Karen? Is that really good to just be able to, turn the faucet on? And then Steve can make beer again. This is important stuff here.
Yes, it is.
Who cares about
Thank
showers?
God for that.
Beer.
I miss the beer.
Yeah, man, we need the beer. Speaking of getting back to normal and feeling good, the holiday season is stressful and, it shouldn't be, but it often is for many. And Nicole Will is back on the show. She owns Asheville Wellness Tours, and you can go to wellnesstours.com to learn more. And I'm sure she has gift certificates too. Or maybe everybody needs a good massage. Maybe Steve needs a massage with what's going on at the end with all that work. So welcome back, Nicole. Nicole, how are you?
Thank you. Thanks. Also chilly. I agree. Who doesn't need a massage? And yes to gift certificates, just like everyone else. We also have virtual tarot card readings wherever you are. We're doing sound baths. We just had a lovely one at the Restoration Hotel last night. I think we had about 40 folks.
Ooh.
Nice.
I
want to do that. I've never done that. I definitely want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to do
That's
that.
it. Well,
yeah. I just had a friend find out what my birth number is and connect it to the tarot. Like we each have a number of tarot thing. Yeah. And apparently mine is the lovers. And I'm as single as you can be. So who knows what's in my future. But I think, Nicole, people have got to be loving the tarot readings now, because didn't we have some big planetary shift where Nancy, my mom, who's a Taurus, gets to rule and the Aquarians are back. And so like there's this just giant shift that's not going to happen for another gazillion years, right? So it's kind of changed things for people. And I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've just seen a bunch of people on social media talk about it. It's the dawn of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is back. It doesn't feel like it, but is it? Are we gonna have an Aquarian age come our way now?
Well, I think not knowing what I'm talking about, but interested in discussing it is the perfect approach. The perfect
It's not, yeah. So you don't do the tarot readings, right? You have specialists on that, and everyone's got a different specialty that you work with.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Our full team, they each have their passion and their professional path. Tarot readers, massage therapists, yoga teachers. I can refer you to some wonderful astrologists.
Cool.
These sound bath musicians, some really lovely, wonderful people that I'm very grateful to be working with, for sure.
Sound bathing and the age of Aquarius is perfect. It sounds good.
I'm going to title our new programs, Lisa.
I'm into this, and I'm perfectly dressed today. I'm in my tie-dye, which half my clothes really are, so it doesn't really matter what I pick up. But now that I realize it, it's like apparently I'm a lover of a hippie. I don't know, but it's all good. But then in the winter, I just recorded our monthly podcast with Dr. Jackie Ubani, who's a cardiologist, and she is dedicated to changing, especially women, because 80% of death in our country the biggest death is heart disease and heart attacks. And, she's like, if we change our lifestyle, we can really fix ourselves. In regards to like the holidays, we tend to go a little crazy and overindulge, but she's like, you can have your little naughties, but do things like yoga for stress. And she was really emphasizing that. What do you think about that in regards to this season, especially everything Asheville has gone through in the last few months? And then the cold comes and we get all like, and, scrunched up, that yoga and those kinds of exercises are important to keep our balance, and not like, we don't want hypertension. We don't want that.
Right. My perspective on that is anything that falls into the many categories of well-being that's the path to take, right? There's no one route for every person. It's individualized. So if yoga is the thing that gets your body moving and gets you out of sort of the winter funk, absolutely yes. If you are willing and able to bundle up and hit the trails, I think that nature is one of our biggest cures.
Yeah.
And it's all about the prep, not the weather, right? There's no bad weather. There's just bad clothing. So if you're one of those adventurers, absolutely, that's a wonderful way. Hiking, running, the gym, even if that's the place where you feel, whatever you feel like you can do, that's the thing to do, especially in the winter.
I mean, this is appropriately, it's an appropriate conversation for Giving Tuesday. We need to give to ourselves. What do you think about that? Like, we need
True.
to start there, right? They always say about like the
Mhm.
oxygen mask on a airplane, put it on your face first, and then share so that you can be strong. So I kind of
Yeah.
feel like, we've been doing all these shows on holiday shopping and playing, our own version of Big Blend QVC. And it's a whole different trip, but I keep telling people it's like, don't forget yourself during this season. Like start, you know, don't wait for spring for self-care. And that seems to always be like, oh, spring clean. And yeah, but I kind of feel like people should give themselves a moment, with whatever it
Mhm.
is, massage or nature or, and that's part of Giving Tuesdays to give to yourself, you
Absolutely.
know?
Well,
Yeah.
and that's a
Mhm.
lovely thing to do in community too. It's easier to motivate if you have something on your schedule, right? Like a yoga class at a local studio or a gym session with an instructor that you really love. Or we have a thing in Asheville, the Silent Book Club. Everybody gets together at a cozy spot and reads quietly. Um,
Mm.
that counts as wellness, but all of those things, if you can put it on your calendar and do it in community with other people, I find that to be a great recipe for success as you're trying to
Mm.
yourself.
I agree.
I love it. Now things are looking
Mm.
up for you, Nicole, since the last time we spoke, right? Do you still have a GoFundMe going? How are things going in regards to Asheville Wellness Tours? Seems like you're back and busy.
We are, I wish I could say we were operationally busy, but the good news that I can share is that we are officially funded through the end of December. We're keeping our
Yeah.
lights on and our
Yay. Good.
team paid, which is huge. And that's thanks to the GoFundMe campaign.
Mm.
And also a grant from Explore Asheville that came through. Just incredibly
Good.
grateful
Nice.
for that sigh of relief and a little bit of a break from what's going to happen tomorrow. We know that we're good through the end of the year, and that's just a huge gift.
Yeah, it's a
Good.
step by
Good.
step. And it's hard to think that way too, like, because it's scary still, like those days zoom.
Mhm.
And, in the holiday season, that's why I'm really glad we're doing this show is to remind people like, hey, for a lot of us, we just switch the lights off and go on our week vacation. And then there's the other side going, please open up. We need, we need some economy to move around. So, maybe think about doing things a little differently this year and shopping small and looking at communities and small businesses and nonprofits that could really use your help to stay going. Because if they stay going,
Mhm.
so do you in the end. It is a web of life, not just in nature, but in the human life. We have an ecosystem that is tied to economics. That's what the eco is for, right? So
Mhm.
I really feel it's so important that this goes beyond Giving Tuesday. Look at it for the whole season as much as we all can. Every little bit counts. And, like Steve and Karen, they're still doing things and working on, there's a lot of bills that come with restoring a historic,
Mhm.
Victorian, estate like they have. And they have a GoFundMe as well that they're still looking for support. And so that link is in the episode notes. So whatever you can do there and do gift certificates as well. That's super important. Nicole, do you have any nonprofits or so gift certificates unless people are coming to town would be optional? I mean, the preferable thing for you. Um, and then in regards to any place you feel people should give in Asheville, to support, the recovery or specific nonprofits.
Oh, sure. I mean, I have a nonprofit that's near and dear to me is the Elderflower Care Community.
Oh,
They
Mhm.
are, I won't do it justice. I hope that people look into it, but it is holistic support for aging population. So they
Mm.
they work a lot with um here we go. I'll read from their website. Holistic elder care in a farm-based community in beautiful Fairview, North Carolina.
oh, wow.
And they have a fabulous mission. They had just purchased a building and gotten it all set up to welcome their first guests, and the building was flooded and
Oh.
right. And as a nonprofit who's not directly involved in Helene recovery, they are slipping through a lot of cracks. So I would say check that one out if you're looking for a nonprofit and you have a particular tie to our elder community. And then on the business side, I think a lot of people are really overwhelmed. They're like, oh, but do I give to Asheville Wellness Tours or Flying Bike Tours or this other tour or this accommodation or this artist or this retail? There are some really beautiful grant funds being built by local organizations that will touch all sectors. One in particular is the Mountain BizWorks WNC Strong Rebuilding Together Fund. It's a lot of words. And then there's another that is aimed towards women-owned businesses, and it is the We Are grant, WEARE grant. And I think if you are overwhelmed by the options, that you can either, spread the amount that you are budgeted for donating out to several, or you could give in bulk to one of these funds that is going to trickle out to a larger base.
Oh, you just also like when you go on GoFundMe.com, just type in Asheville. You'll see, I know that a lot of the lodgings, and I don't know if, this is how true, but from what I've heard from different people, Karen, is that the lodgings kind of got overlooked in some of these grants, depending on who, what, and where. And so small, like bed and breakfasts and, maybe even vacation rentals and things like that, small hotels. I know what it's like to have been overlooked as well in these kinds of things. So those grants really do work. But remember, it also is like the application. So it worked for Nicole, which is fantastic. We're super stoked. That is awesome.
Right.
But also look, GoFundMe. I think if you go on there and look up Asheville, you'll see, individual breweries and restaurants and hotels, lodgings, and people like that, even if you spread it around like $5 a place, or something like that, I think, it all helps. It all, what, and it's like, even if you just do a little bit, whatever you can do, maybe it's even volunteering. Call Steve and Karen up. They'll put you to work. Volunteering, it feels good. It does. And so whatever you can do is better than nothing. And it just, it helps, and it makes everyone's soul feel better when caring is abundant. So Jay, I know you've done a lot over, this, recovery path. Anything we should know from you that you want to give a shout out to for a nonprofit? And I know you have a special program coming up. So number one, you got to keep up with Jay on social media and watch, for his, drone footage of the North Carolina Arboretum. But you also have a specific giveaway you're doing for real estate or realtors, right?
Yep. On my Facebook and my Instagram page for Spartan Photography, I'll be giving away a $500 drone tour of a listing of their choice. So they can go on my social media and just put on there, pick me and tag some friends. And you can possibly win a chance to have a drone tour of a really cool listing. For me, everybody has their little niche, the things that are right there in front of them. And I work with a lot of real estate and commercial real estate type things. And to see some of the devastation in the area and know that impacts our real estate market here is going to be, something that's going to come back slowly. But I think that once people start seeing the changes and the improvements that are being made, and they can see the trajectory that we're on, hopefully that'll start to kind of bolster that back to where it was. And I want to do my part to help it.
I love that.
Awesome.
You want to give everyone your social media platforms, your handles. What's your handle, Jay?
Spartan Photo.
Okay.
Spartan Photo AVL, actually. It's Spartan Photo AVL. Yep. All one word.
Yeah. And we'll link that.
Facebook, Instagram. Yep.
Facebook and Instagram, everyone. So check that out. And what a cool thing. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Now going back to you, Karen, you and Steve did this last year, and I believe you're doing this again. Here it is, Steve and Karen. You guys keep giving when you also still need help on your GoFundMe. I'm like, but this is something very near and dear. You are Mr. and Mrs. Wild. either music or out in nature. And you are helping an aquarium again out in South Carolina, right?
Yeah, exactly. We've done this the last few years. We normally help Asheville Humane and Appalachian Wild, but this year, obviously, they're both kind of struggling and getting things organized. So we stuck with doing, for the South Carolina Aquarium, they do something called Sea Life by Starlight. It's like a formal ball, but they also do a online auction, and we offered a gift certificate to them. So anybody willing to, purchase that gift certificate through them, it donates to their sea turtle rehabilitation.
Very cool. And as climate is, the sea turtle rehabilitation, we've done shows on it where, winter is really bad for sea turtles. I know that in Texas, they could come in from one, like Corpus Christi, the aquarium there, they could end up with having to rescue up to 5,000 sea turtles in one day, with the temperature changes. Yeah. So that I think is super, super cool. And you're helping your neighbors, in the Carolinas. So that is really awesome. So lots to do over the holiday season. Before each of you go, let's give a shout out of what you can do this holiday season for fun in Asheville. I also want to give a shout out to what I've seen beloved Asheville doing so much on those tiny houses and keeping people warm. I've been following them on social media since the Hurricane Helene, and I think they've been doing an amazing job. There's just so many places out there and just doing really hard work, like getting people sleeping bags and heaters, and it's an amazing, amazing thing of what we're seeing happen. And again, let's all do what we can to help support, whether it's volunteer or even just sharing the show for those who may be able to help, sharing the posts that you see on social media of what people can do. That also goes a long and far way. So, the more you can share of all these different efforts, the better. So let's go to you, Nicole. What do you want to do that says winter happy holidays in Asheville for those who are coming to town this year for the end of the year?
In that sentiment of volunteering, Explore Asheville has a really wonderful resource of listing ways in which you can incorporate volunteerism into your visit to Asheville, which I think is really lovely. And then my heart goes to the organizations that are dealing with our local natural spaces. So Conserving Carolina, Mountain True, and Asheville Greenworks. They all have opportunities to volunteer as well. And that, to me, bundle up, get outside, be in nature, and give back at the same time. That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, it does. It does. I like it. Okay. So what about you, Jay? What do you want to do for the holidays to make, everyone that's coming in, what would you say do to feel warm and cozy and happy?
For me, I enjoy a good ride down the Blue Ridge Parkway, and now that majority of it in North Carolina is back open again, that's always a good way to go, especially if you have a little bit of snow at the higher elevations. It just makes for such a beautiful ride, and you get to stay warm in your car. So that's for me what I would do if I came here.
Awesome. Karen, what about you?
I would say the winter lights, because that's become an annual tradition. We go with Jay and Christy every year, and it's just it's a fun thing to do. Same thing, you're helping out a nonprofit, yet you're getting in the holiday spirit. It's just a nice thing to do.
Very cool. Very cool. Everyone, Asheville is open and ready for your visit. So get over there, get your buttskis there. Just wear a sweater and a jacket and get some mittens and maybe a little hoodie, and off you go. There's volunteering. There's cocoa. I know there's hot cocoa in places all throughout Asheville that you can get. And, again, gift certificates. If you can't be here for the holiday season, check it out there. We're here every first Tuesday. We'll be back on the show again soon with Steve and Karen and more friends, and talking about what we can do, in 2025 in Asheville and the surrounding areas. Take care, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy Giving Tuesday. Thanks, Nicole, for joining us. Again, it's AshevilleWellnessTours.com. Thank you, Jay. Again, go to SpartanPhotography.zenfolio.com. And thank you, Karen. Give Steve a shout out and tell him, I know he's really busy, but bring that beer, man.
Oh yeah. We're going to be doing that
please.
this week. This week we will.
Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay.
Everyone, lion-rose.com is the website for Steve and Karen at the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast. And just look at the links in the episode notes. Everyone we've talked about today will be linked there. Take care, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you for joining us here on Big Blend Radio's Adventures in Asheville show. Learn more about the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast, which is located in the historic Montford district of Asheville, North Carolina. Go to lion-rose.com. You can keep up with our Big Blend radio shows at bigblendradio.com.